Working. Bum, bum, bum. Says we're live. Let me just check. The sound is good. Okay, we should be good. Welcome everyone. Today we are here with the man himself, Lloyd, one of our star students. What we're going to discuss today is we're just going to have an authentic conversation about his experience inside our mentorship, how he decided to join, and what he's learned so far. If you guys don't know, we have an online mentorship where we coach you on how you can meet women from an authentic place, but also feel happy, enjoy your life as you're going through the process, because one without the other, there will still be things that are missing in your life. But just to get started, Lloyd, could you give everyone watching the interview a quick background on yourself before we started working together? What do you do day to day? What were some things that you were looking for answers for? And what kind of led you to reach out and have a conversation with me?
So, background on me. I am Filipino American. I grew up in Los Angeles. I live in San Francisco right now. I'm almost 52 years old. I was divorced 3 years ago. And that's what brought me to here. I have no kids, but getting divorced, I realized that I wasn't living the life that I wanted to live. And I started to reach out to friends, then started looking for mentors on how to help guide me to live the life I wanted to live. I didn't know what life I wanted to live, but I knew I wasn't living the life that was making me happy and fulfilled. What I do day to day is I'm an engineer, as many of the audience members are, civil engineer. And then I did that for a while. And then I went back and got my MBA in finance. And that brought me to work here in Silicon Valley, got a high-tech job, was very fortunate, and was able to leave the working world and work for myself, doing day trading, investing, and other things for the last 10 years. So that's what I do day to day. I do CrossFit on a daily basis. I meditate. Yeah. So what was the other questions?
The main question. So basically, before we started working together, you were in a place where you're able to step out of the corporate life, do things on your own schedule, work on your passions. You came through a divorce and you had worked with a few different coaches in the past. But what kind of led you to decide, okay, I think I need something more in my life and something new to work on? And why did you decide to reach out to me specifically?
All right, I'll take you back to the journey. For me, the journey, I consider it my second life, started like when I got divorced and did not know what to do with myself next. I knew I wanted to work on my dating life, but I was scared to do it. So then I immediately went into a weekend boot camp with a dating coach in LA, and that was really disastrous. I had major approach anxiety, and I was just not prepared for the anxiety I would feel meeting new women and trying to just talk. And I'm a very social guy, but it just really struck me hard that I was so anxious and scared. Then I realized I need more long-term training. I also started to work on other parts of my life. My relationship with my dad wasn't good. I was going through a divorce, so that was a lot to work on there. So I started working with a therapist, but then I came back, came back from the boot camp, realized I needed more training and more long-term training. So I found a local dating coach who I worked with for 3 months doing cold approaching working on my approach anxiety. And I had made a lot of progress there. And I went on a lot of dates. And at the end of that, I met the person who's my current girlfriend. And I felt really good. And I felt like I had accomplished a lot. I lost a lot of weight. I was feeling good about myself. And so fast forward a year later with the same girlfriend, I was feeling anxious about my dating life again, despite all the work I had done on that. And the reason I was feeling anxious is that because me and my girlfriend, we want different things long-term. So at some point it's going to end, and we already know that. And I was really scared of like having to go back out there. And I remember talking to you, Ige, many times before I signed up, but I was kept on saying like, hey, I need more skills because I'm scared I'm going to regress back to who I was. And I needed more help, even though I already had a lot of help and a lot of coaching, dating coaching, and honestly, a therapist. I was just scared about regressing to my past. So that's what brought me to you, Ige. Specifically, the reason I went to you is that just watching your videos, your vibe, your ability to communicate systematically. I mean, you like you spoke systematically, and you just really spoke to me. And then your vibe is just very cool and calm. And you focused more on mindset, more the holistic process. Yes, you gave a lot of dating advice, but I saw in you that you focused on a more holistic, helping me reach more holistic version of myself. But at the time, I didn't realize that. What motivated me to come to you was like, I need more help. I'm scared of dating again. I need more help. So that's finally what brought me to you, and finally how I signed up.
Gotcha. So there was a lot of on your end, knowing that the situation that you were in with your girlfriend wasn't going to last because you wanted different things. That was the thing that drove you to say, okay, well, I need a backup plan for when this is actually over. I don't want to just wake up in bed one day and realize, oh shit, now I need to be back in a single life. Whereas rather, if this is something you wanted to prepare yourself for, and that's how you decided to work with me. I guess when you came inside the program, the first few calls, what were some things that actually surprised you that you didn't expect?
I'm recalling back, and yes, I was very surprised. The first thing was, I'm trying to recall, and I have very strong feelings about this, but the first thing was we first met and you were getting a read on me. And what I remember at the end of our first call, like, hey, Lloyd, I want you to do a full day, 24-hour fast from life, basically, and just meditate. Don't do anything, stay home and just meditate, or do not engage in other people and other things. Just be by yourself that whole time. I was like, okay, what's the purpose of this? But I'll buy it.
I thought I was going to talk to girls, not fucking isolate in a cave.
Well, I thought you were going to soothe my anxiety and give me specific tips on how to start cold approaching, dating, how to deal with my anxiety about connecting. Like, I wanted specific tips, but you're like, you didn't even touch upon that. You said, Lloyd, 24-hour fast, write down your thoughts, then we'll meet and see what you come up with. And then from there, we met. And then you started to ask me like, hey, Lloyd, what did you come up with? Any realizations? And the first thing that I felt and I thought was my relationship with my dad. And then we started digging into that. Nothing about women, nothing about anything else, except just my, I don't know, fear, pain point in life. And that's what we focused on. And now I remember back, that was probably the heaviest thing in my life, besides my anxieties about dating again. It was really my relationship with my dad. And context, I had not spoken to my dad for 2 or 3 years. And there was not a specific reason that caused that, like a fight or event. It was just like, I'm mad at my dad for his lack of not teaching me how to be a man. And I blamed him for not having the dating life I've always wanted because of the example he gave me as a child. So I really blamed him for everything, for who I was. And I wanted him to, well, anyways, but that's why I didn't talk to him for 3 years. So
Gotcha.
That's what I remember at the beginning.
And we gave you an exercise specifically for that, where you wrote a letter, you kind of burned a letter and ended up calling your dad. How did you feel after you've gone through that exercise compared to how you felt for the past 2-3 years? Because, the reason I gave you that exercise and we had that type of process is some people come to me and what they really need is the strategies and something a bit more systematic. But a lot of people that I work with, there's that one thing within their life or their mindset that holds them back in all parts of their lives. And I think for you, when the time we started working together, that thing was this relationship that fell apart because you put the blame on someone else and you created this tension in your life. So that's why I gave you that exercise. But after going through that, how did you feel in your day-to-day life, or just the way you interact with people compared to how you felt before?
How did I feel after that exercise? Before I say that, I want to say, Ige, that in my first call, you didn't know that I had a pain point that was holding me back, but you knew there was something. And you knew that there was something else besides needing the tactics. I always said I needed the tactics and system, but you kept on asking me questions, and I could feel that you knew there was something else there. And so that was one thing. I think that was the trigger that made me sign up for you, because you recognized there was something else. And I felt immediate trust that you knew that there was something else you didn't know, and I didn't know, but I had immediate trust that you would help me figure that out. And then you found out about my dad. So I just wanted to say that that's what really had me sign up with you. So the exercise specifically was, you had me write a letter to my dad with all my anger and frustration and blame for him. And then I wrote the letter. Then you had me burn it. And then here was the hard part. After burning it, you told me like I had to call my dad immediately. So when I burned the letter, I felt an enormous amount of, no, I don't know what I felt. Oh, I felt nothing when I burnt the letter. I just felt actually more anxiety about having to call my dad. And I was ready to freaking just let it all out. Everything I said in the letter, I was like ready to spill it to him and have a big argument with him. But as soon as I got on the phone with him, all that just released from me, that anger and everything. And he was just happy to hear from me. And I was happy to be there from him. So I remember that, hey, I don't need anything from my dad. I just want to just be there from him. And so I felt this release, similar to the release when I finally told my ex-wife that I wanted a divorce. I just felt this humongous burden lifted off my shoulders. So after that day, I felt freedom, one less heaviness on my mind, and free to just relax and stop being so tense all the time and worried about how am I going to resolve this issue with my dad. And that's all I can recall, but I just felt this lightness. And I don't remember how I started interacting with my girlfriend or friends or people, but I definitely feel, and to this day feel, a definite lightness and ability to be less in my head. Maybe that's what it is.
Hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things, right? When you have a part of your life that you internally know you haven't fully handled, that you're running away from, that running away affects every other part of your life. And that's something we discussed throughout that time very deeply, where I told you if you had this problem that you're running away from, then your life is operating from that running away state rather than thinking about how can I contribute to people. So your mind is operating from that state of survival where you don't want to deal with this compared to that state of abundance. And once you address that problem, the lightness came from your operation mode, went from running away, there's scarcity in life, there's fear, there's anxiety, to wow, I had a conversation with someone that I've been awaiting for years. I was there for them. I showed them love, although I had stuff that I didn't fully deal with. And I was able to do that. So that means I can show up in my life in that sense, although I'm not a perfect person. And that's why that big shift happened. So I think from there, what we started focus on was kind of the next big thing that you had a lot of questions about, which was connecting with people. How would you say our approach was there? Because I remember even with the connection stuff, you wanted something like tactical to connect with people, and you're telling me, all my friends tell me I'm so good at connecting with people, but I don't feel that way. So how did you like the approach there, and how was that experience for you, understanding the core of connection?
Connection, yes. That was okay. So I want to answer that, but first you triggered a memory, a thought that, yeah, I was running away from my dad, and you helped me resolve that in my head so that I can fully give back. I can just give back, contribute. You said contribute. Yeah. So now I can just contribute to my dad's life instead of like making him validate or take responsibility of who I am. I am taking responsibility for who I am now. And now I can just contribute to my dad's life. However, you released that from me, but the, the monster inside of me needed to find something else to be nervous about, which lead, and I'm realizing that this now because that's what happened. I felt I needed to feel anxious about something else. The monster inside of me needed something else to work on. So that led to, hey, Ige, I feel like I need to connect better. My skill, I don't feel confident that I can connect with every single person, man or woman in my life. I want to be able to connect consistently every time. And yeah, so now I'm trying to remember, and I'm trying to remember, and you gave me an exercise. We talked about it for a while, and then you recognized what was there, and then the exercise you gave me, like, hey, Lloyd, so every time you feel this craving or need to feel that you're not, or every time I feel this craving or need or lacking of not connecting, you told me to, like, Lloyd, give that part of yourself that doesn't feel accepted or connected unconditional love and acceptance. You're telling me to talk to myself. You didn't give me a tactic on how to get more connections, on how to soothe my worries about not being able to connect. You just told me instead, I guess, to find that connection within myself and not look for it externally. Like I was looking for external validation and blame for my dad. Now I was looking for external ways to help soothe my anxiety from connecting. And then you point me again back to myself.
And how was it like once you did that exercise to recognize, okay, I can give myself everything I need, to then go out and start connecting with people? Because basically what we worked on around that time was shifting your focus for connection from, okay, I want to connect with this person because I think if I connect with them, my life will be so much more amazing and I'll have all these connections, to my life is already amazing. I accept the person that I am, but how can I genuinely get to know what other people are about? And that's when we talked about building some curiosity into the conversation. And really, one of the exercises I gave you was whenever there's judgment that comes up, you tell yourself, okay, there's probably something I don't fully know here. So, how can I ask a question to understand this person deeper? How did that change the way that you navigated relationships or the reactions that you got meeting new people?
How did that affect? Yes, I am. I'm remembering the feelings and the feelings every time now. So the interesting thing is, I realized that when I go into conversations with any person, new or old, I'm listening to that person, and then I'm listening to what's in my head to figure out what I want to say next. Then you gave me the exercise to, when someone says something or speaking, to ask myself, there's something here I fully don't understand. What question do I need to ask to get an answer? And that replays in my head like every day, every second. And what that did for me was to stop listening to the voice in my head and really focus my attention on the other person and what's in their head. And I don't know, so then I have to ask a question, which generates a circle, a loop of constant curiosity now. So I'm focused on them, learning about them. So that was a big change I've realized in my thinking. Is like I was always so focused on what the voice in my head. But after you gave me that exercise and just me doing it all the time, and now I do it unconsciously, I cannot think now. I can't think about what's in my head. I'm always so focused on the other person's thinking, to the point where people are like, Lloyd, stop asking me so many questions. Why do you want to know so much? I'm like, hey, because I'm just genuinely curious about you. You're a very interesting person. And it doesn't matter what they say, what topic they talk about, even if it's something that I have no clue on, even better, because then I'll ask more questions. So going back, the big change is that instead of me talking to someone new, then being in my head, listening to my voice in my head, then saying what's in my voice, now it's like I talk to someone new, then I ask, then my focus is on like what's in their head. And and then that's how it goes.
Yeah, so then the focus becomes, now that you're not in your head anymore, you can actually ask people questions that you want to know the answers to. Because a lot of the time when people first get into learning about social skills, they learn, oh, don't ask too many questions because that's interview mode. But the issue there is a bit deeper, where the questions people ask most of the time is not because they're genuinely interested. It's because they don't want the silence to be there, because there's so much going on in their head that if it's silent, they're like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. Is this a good conversation? What am I going to say? Okay, just ask a random question. Ask it now. So how's the weather? And then people get bored because they can see that you don't genuinely care about what they're saying. But if you ask the right questions that you want to know the answers to, then the experience is completely different. So I remember through our work together, at least so far, those were two of the core things that we worked on. But if you think about the last few months we've been working together, are there any insights or any takeaways that you want to share with people watching this interview?
The biggest insight actually was what I wrote to our community, the community you've set up. A win that I realized, so Ige, you have weekly calls with all the members of the group where you answer calls from everyone, answer questions for everyone, and we're all together in the group. And then besides that, you and I have individual meetings, so that's great. There's a lot of value you give there and a lot of interaction with you and one-on-one with the group, and I interact with the other students of your program, which is great. So going back, what was the biggest takeaway recently was that I still feel this insecurity about my dating life. Yes, I know I can connect better. And when I feel nervous about connecting, I just talk to myself and soothe myself. But overall, that anxiety is still very much there. And then I thought, okay, I can remember like 2 days ago, like, okay, I'm feeling anxious again. I can connect, but I need more reference experiences. I need to get something. I need more. I need to just get more in my life. And then on the call, you said, like, guys, once you get what you want, you realize it's not going to make you happy. And if you keep on getting what you think is going to make you happy, the more you realize you're not going to be happy. So I said, oh, when I was realizing that my solution to resolving my anxiety of getting more girls is not a solution, then I said, okay, I have to solve it myself internally. And then I realized then, like, okay, I just first need to make myself happy. That part of me that's anxious, I just have to make that part of me happy, and not do it by getting external validation from my dad, from girls or friends. Actually, that part of me, I mean, I'm made up of a lot of different parts. One part of me is anxious, other part is confident. So I just kind of talked to myself and told myself that, hey, I'm okay. I know you're anxious. I'm okay. We will work on this, but you don't need to get something from someone to feel okay. I am okay by myself. And that like kind of released that anxiousness and not needing. So then I felt like, hey, I'm good. Then if I want to go out and meet women or other people, I won't need anything from them. I can just freely interact and be curious and not want anything from them because I'm giving everything I need to soothe my anxieties. And then being not needy, not being craving, not wanting something from someone, especially a woman, is very attractive to women because women get hit up all the time and guys want something from them and they know it. But when they meet a guy who doesn't want something from them, that's refreshing and probably very attractive. So does that answer your question?
Yeah. So in a sense, with this whole approach where the inner work is balanced with the social skills, and you get to kind of build yourself from the ground up rather than use certain tactics to get ahead, you found that although sometimes the exercises were a bit confusing, you couldn't tell what was going on and why we're doing this and how it was going to help. In this fascinating way, things kind of connect together. And then you realize, wow, when I talk to a girl I'm interested in, I need a lot less things. Of course, no one's perfect, right? Even as we're having this interview, I want coffee and my coffee is here. So I can't be like, no craving, because I do want to drink this coffee. But the point is being able to understand what's our natural inclination, what are the tendencies we build through our life so far. And that's a journey that never ends. This is why when I talk to people a lot of the time, or when I talk to my friends, one of the things that I always say, especially for my friends who kind of see what I do from a surface level and who wonder like, oh, do you just teach guys just how to talk to women and manipulate them or do this or do that? And I'll tell them, dude, the work I do is the work probably every guy needs, but not every guy is ready to do. So the woman aspect is cool. I mean, as you've seen in the community, most of our students get tons of results with women throughout this process, but it's kind of the shiny object to lure people in to do the work they need to do on themselves. Is that kind of what you felt after you've gone through a big part of the program and realized, well, I wasn't expecting to do all this, but now that I did it, I can see why it was organized the way it is?
Absolutely. We have been working for 2.5 months and we have not talked about any dating cold approaching tactics at all. Not that I don't want more help, but the surprising thing is that, yeah, we never talked about that, for at least for me, at where I am in my development. We talked about the holistic, the other parts of my life that I needed help with to live a better life, which I did not know coming into this program I needed help with, which I appreciate you about you, Ige. You were more than just tactics and all that stuff, which you're actually not actually, you are excellent at and excellent at teaching it. But for me, you recognize what I needed in my development, and that's your differentiating factor versus other coaches. Just because I've been with 3 coaches, you're my third coach. That's the differentiation factor with you, and I'm very grateful that to get that from you and what you gave to me. And yeah, I don't know if I don't think I answered your question, but I was just relating to you the impact you had on me. And it was not about dating. It was about what comes after dating.
Yeah, thank you, man. Really appreciate that. I guess to expand on that a bit, for someone who's watching the interview, who's maybe thinking, I can resonate with Lloyd. I feel like I'm at a place in my life where I need more tactics to either meet women or keep them around or be prepared when I go out, when I want to be social. What would be your recommendation to them?
That they need to do, I mean, I did that work before I came to you, Ige, and they need to do that to have that confidence that they can get women, that they are a high value individual that many women would want. And you can tell any guy that that's how they should feel about themselves, but until a man does the work to go prove that to his brain, until I did the work to prove to myself that I was desirable to women, I was never going to believe it. So to guys out there, they need to go work on the process of attracting women, interacting with women, connecting. They have to do that. And you have the skills and the system and the coaching ability to convey that to guys. But after that, there's more to life. And once you get, I realized, like, okay, I was so successful professionally. The dating life and my relationship life was lacking. Now I'm getting that together. But life is not solved. Like, life is not fixed. But all those things are not put to rest. It doesn't create me more anxiety. I know I have the skills if those areas of my life aren't working, but I have a confidence I can get those areas filled when I need to. But now I'm free to pursue the rest of my life, a lightness. And so those guys out there, you need to put into work, learning how to connect and date with women. I mean, I did hundreds of approaches before coming to you. So I did the work, and all the guys, you guys need to do the work. But there's much more after that. And I'm realizing that from you, Ige, and you're helping me guide me through that next part.
Yeah, that's a very important takeaway, because I think A lot of guys get into this thinking that meeting women will fix all the problems they face because we're coming from a set of experiences where we believe, oh, I haven't had women in the past and I was not happy. So by transitive property, if I get women in the future, and then I will be happy. It's like simple logic. You could draw it on a whiteboard and do some math. But what happens most of the time is, to be fair, like if you've never had options with women, you had to build the options with women first, date a good amount of girls before you settle down. So you believe that you settled down from a place where you had abundance, like it was your choice. The biggest problem most guys have that I talk to, even if they go on dates, they go on dates with girls that they're not really interested in. And they know deep down, if they settle down with a girl, it wouldn't be because they had the choice. It wouldn't be because they picked the girl. It would be because, oh, this girl's cool enough and she sticks around and I guess she's not that bad. So yeah, she can be my girlfriend. Whereas as a guy, what we want most of the time is that choice and the freedom to go up and say hi to someone. And those principles are a lot more important than the end result of whether you get to number, whether you get to date, as long as you're living freely and you're choosing the way that you live. So that's how, when I was a college student running around the campus and doing approaches, and I was clueless out of my mind, that's what kept me motivated, because I thought to myself, every time I say hi to a girl I want to talk to, it's a point for that value of freedom, showing myself I can be free. I don't need anyone to give me permission for doing the things I want to do. And that experience made me realize, wait, I can talk to all these girls that I thought were out of my league. I've been on dates with girls who I thought would never even look at me. And I've been in small relationships with girls where I was just like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually dating this girl at the point this was happening. So when I started my business, I was 21 years old, a bit clueless about business. I hired a business coach. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I thought people would say, dude, you're 21. Who are you trying to teach people dating? But I had that self-belief because I knew that I built that self-belief through talking to women. And that's why I was very passionate about what I did, because the way I see it is, when you build the confidence in your dating life and you truly know that you can attract the woman you want consistently, that confidence carries over to other parts of your life. Is that something you found as well, Lloyd?
Absolutely. I had the confidence professionally. I didn't have the confidence in my life, in my personal life or dating life. I'm getting that now. So I have all this confidence. Now I'm thinking, okay, where do I carry this confidence? Not where do I carry it to? Like, I have all this confidence. I want to go pursue other things. I don't know what they are yet, but I have all this momentum of confidence. I don't have any holes to fill. I can go out and pursue other stuff. And now you're making me think about the rest of my life, Ige, because now I have the freedom to live the life I want to live, because professionally I'm successful. And then now I have the freedom to pursue the women I want, because I've learned, I've grown and learned and filled that hole in my life. So now I'm free to do whatever I feel a fancy for, which I guess I need to, I feel that freedom. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, Ige, is that when I first started, and I'm sure a lot of guys will resonate with this, is like, hey, I'm an engineer, I'm a guy, I have a problem. My dating life's not, I'm not happy with my dating life. Okay, problem, the solution is more girls. Simple solution. So I'll just go out and get girls, go out and get girls. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I'll get a teacher to teach me how to get girls. Okay, I'm getting answers. I'm getting the solution I want to my problem. Wait, this solution's not working. I get all these girls. It's still not making me happy. That's just an interesting dynamic I see with so many guys, is that, like, problem, solution. And I realize now that the solution is just a part of it. And maybe the problem isn't really getting girls. It is a little, but the bigger problem or issue is like how to live as a man. And that's what I'm starting to learn from you now. So I just gathered from you that living as a man is to have freedom and have the freedom to choose what he wants to do. And life isn't figured out once you get the girl that seems kind of cool, is okay, she likes me, okay, I'll get married to her, okay, my life is solved. But then 20 years later, you get divorced and have to pay for alimony. Oh, I'm describing myself. But anyways, I was being sarcastic there, but it's true. I've seen friends who are starting to get divorced because they thought the solution to their life was security, getting the girlfriend and the wife, having the kids. But there's more to it, especially for men. It's different for women, but I'm finding that men's purpose in life and how to live a fulfilling life is much different than women. And much different from what we learn from society and learn from movies.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's so true. One thing I want to circle back on is you mentioned how some of your friends are getting divorced. You've been through a divorce in the past. Our program is not cheap. Like our program at the moment of this live is 10K for the one-on-one coaching and all the support that you receive. So a lot of the time when people come to the call and we have this conversation, they resonate with the message and the content, but financially, it's really hard to quantify, okay, what are these social skills and this mindset actually going to get you in life? So after being inside the program, do you feel like that was a fair price, or knowing what you know now, how much would you have paid to have that progress that you've had in the past 2.5 months?
Price of the program. So I'm an engineer, then got my MBA in finance. And so I've had therapists and life coaches. I know what the going rate is per hour for a life coach. It's like around 100 per hour. And then a certified therapist is like more than $200 per hour. And going back to my old dating coaches, they were charging between $100 to $200. No, like a little more than $100 per hour of their time. Then going to you, Ige, yeah, $10,000. I didn't know how many hours that would entail for a 4-month program, but going through it now, all the hours that you put in with me and all the hours I'm getting from the program working with other students, it's less than the cost of going to a therapist per hour. It's a big number to think of, but I broke it down by hour, and the number of hours and the amount of value I'm getting just on a pure dollar amount is fair. But then if I think about the extra value you've given me as compared to my therapist and my life coach, my previous dating coach and my therapist, there's so much more extra value you're giving. And I know that without you in my life right now, I'd be stuck. I gotten as far as I could with my therapist and my past dating coach. Without this program, it's holistic approach that I don't think I could have gone any farther without the program. And the $10,000, yes, I'm doing well financially, but to me, it's like, there's no way I could have lived a happier life if I didn't spend the money on this program. And I'm sure after this, there'll be something else I need to work on. Maybe I'll find another mentor, but I see I'm not going to waste time in my life anymore trying to figure things out myself. I'm going to find mentors who figured it out and learn from them. And yeah, so did I answer your question? The cost is a lot to hear about in one time, but financially, it's a fair price compared to any other provider. Then the extra value you give is priceless.
What do you mean by the extra value? Like, what are some examples that stood out to you that you didn't see in other coaching relationships or therapists that you work with?
Okay, so a therapist works on the inner self, getting rid of those demons. I had a therapist. And then the other, I had a dating coach, right? And he helped me with tactics. He walked with me and helped me cold approach person live in a boot camp. Or with you, I noticed you're the best of both worlds. You bring it all together, and you're not a licensed therapist, but you talk like my therapist. And then you had the expertise of a dating coach, though you haven't coached me there, but I watched all your videos with you and Tusk. So you've got the skills there, but I just didn't need that right now. But still, you have dating tactic side. So the extra value for you, Ige, in my life is that you brought those two worlds together for me. The inner work that I did with my therapist was great. I don't see anymore. And my previous dating coach, who I'm very good friends with now, helped me so much with the tactics, but you brought those two areas together. And I didn't realize I needed that, but you're the gift in life that came to me that brought those two areas together for me.
Man, thank you. I really appreciate that. And it's been awesome seeing your progress. I know some of the exercises that we did, I saw at the end of the call in your face, you're like, really, this is what we're doing? Or there was some anxiety coming up when we had the call, especially we had that call with calling your father, and you weren't sure if how things were going to work out. But now that you're on the other side, first of all, part of the reason that you've made all this progress is you're able to actually do the things that I told you to do and trust the process. Although sometimes it might seem a bit confusing and you might not really see the higher picture. The reason that our mentorship is time-based and it's higher level is, imagine if we just had hourly calls and that's what you paid on, and we didn't have a long-term game plan, then we would never be able to provide something like this, because we would be solving the problems from a reactive place in terms of what came up, rather than a proactive place of planning ahead. So to give everyone watching a bit of context, that's why our offer is structured in a long-term mentorship way, because then that allows us to plan ahead and see the progress and do exercises like this that are not going to have an ROI within the next week, but when it comes to within the next month or 2 months, your life is going to be completely different. So the last thing I want to touch on is, a lot of people, when they think about joining communities like this, there's a hesitancy to say, oh, I don't know how the other people are like, is it just going to be people who are very socially awkward or anxious, or what's the community like? And I truly believe, having been through a ton of mentorships myself, we have one of the strongest communities that you can find in a mentorship with the group of people we have inside. So can you talk a bit more, since you said you also like to talk with the members of the group and get engaged in the community, but how's the community like for you inside the program, and how did it help you progress?
The community. Yes. So that's a big value add in your program as compared to my therapist and my previous dating coach. Because it's on Slack and it's online, I could easily interact with everyone. And what am I trying to say? I feel like the Slack community and everything that's in there and all the exercises you have people do, it promotes a lot of interaction within the community. So everyone is encouraged and almost forced to interact with others. And of course, this is working on myself is very vulnerable. Having to talk to other guys about it, is very scary at first, but the community helps alleviate that worry, because I found that other guys are in my place or was in my place. And it brings a level of comfort and understanding. And then then I can interact with them, and I hear about other guys' experiences, and I don't feel alone. Um, and I can, not feeling alone, not feeling that I'm alone in my problems, that other people are having my problems, is very
Mhm.
comforting and tells me that I'm okay and I'm okay to work on it. And that comes
Mhm.
through your Slack community. And I just feel that's so unique aspect of your program is just the community. And uh, I'm interacting with the community like every day. So I find that I
Mhm.
don't need to meet with you like every week, Ige, like I did with my dating coach and with my therapist. I mean, I can work with the community, or I can text you directly and you'll always respond, or I text other guys. And I find myself mentoring other guys on the program just because I'm further down the development of this.
Mhm.
So the community has been a really value add that has surprised me. The other thing I want to touch upon is with my dating coach and my previous therapist, it's like when I meet with them, okay, what's the current problem today? Okay, let's work on it. And then the next time, like, okay, what's the current problem today? Let's work on that. With you,
Mhm.
when we meet, it's like that too. But you have a long-term program and it's already set. You have it structured, it's all right there. And I can tell that you're working towards a long-term goal constantly with me, not just trying to resolve what's bothering me today. And I
Mhm.
really appreciated that guidance and reassurance that I was going somewhere. You wouldn't tell me where I'm going because part of therapy and working life coaching is having the client figure things out and you guide us. And I just trusted you that you were taking me somewhere that I wanted to go. And
Mhm.
I another thing I appreciate that is that the long-term vision of this program is not just to resolve what's going on today in my head. It's like help give
Mhm.
me a path for the rest of my life.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think it's very important for anyone who's doing this type of work to have clients and really help them plan for the long term. If anyone watching this is working with a coach and the sessions are like, okay, what's going on now? What can we do to fix it? And I would highly recommend have a conversation with your coach and figure out a longer term game plan. Or if you have been doing something that hasn't worked for you, maybe look for another coach. We've also had clients who were actively in other programs who weren't seeing results, who ended up joining our program, or similar to you, who have worked with a couple of coaches in the past, had a good amount of progress, but still felt like there was something that was missing. So again, this is not a call to action to make anyone to buy or book a call. This is really my genuine thoughts. Is I've always been the type of person who likes to invest in himself. And I know that's the same for you, Lloyd. Like when you see an opportunity who could help or what could help, whether that's financial or something within you, then you're not scared to spend that money, although there's that nervousness because whenever you spend a lot of money on something, you're wondering to yourself, oh, is this a good investment or what is it? So personally, within my journey, I've spent more than $50,000 learning the skills, traveling around the world, doing boot camps, doing training with a bunch of different coaches. I have my own coach for business now. I have a coach that I work with for fitness and some spirituality. And this is why what you said, Lloyd, about not wasting time is so important because depending on your skill set, you can always make more money, but the time you never get back. So if you spend a lot of time trying to save the money, then you can't future pace and see, actually, if I were to pay this money, would this get me more ahead in 1 year or in a few years? And for a lot of the times that I made investment in myself, that was the perspective I was coming from. So that long-term game plan is really important, whoever you work with. That was a bit of a tangent, but that's going to be about the end of the interview. Before we wrap up, Lloyd, is there anything else you want to add to the viewers or anyone who might be in the situation you were in before we started working together?
I'm 52 years old. I wish when I was in my late 20s, I had a mentor like you
Mhm.
to help guide me. Otherwise, if I did, then I wouldn't, I don't want to say waste 20 years, but I missed out on my 30s to 50s of 20 years of higher fulfillment, higher happiness in my life. And wouldn't have had 20 years of anxieties and worries of hole in my love life. And I would encourage you younger guys to, you don't feel the pressure of time. So, but you can make the rest of your life so much more fulfilling and happy if you start working on yourself now. I mean, we go to school to get teaching from a job. I mean, teaching from a university and professors. Why do we think we have to figure out the personal life, the dating life on our own? Just get a teacher. It's a shortcut. I mean, the hardest things in life requires work and mentorship and teaching from others. So I don't know, treat your personal life like you treat like your professional life. And I'm assuming everyone here is successfully driven and professional. Put that same energy into your personal life and get help so that you can live a fulfilling life.
Yeah, exactly. I like that strong finish right there. People always say finish strong, but I couldn't agree more. You know, I went to school for computer science at UCLA, and for an international student who wasn't in state, that was $60,000 a year. So over 4 years, that's like $250,000 just to learn engineering, which looking back, I mean, I learned so much more from other mentorships that I've been a part of, that if you've been through college and you spend that much time and money working on your profession and you find yourself in a situation where you're good in your career now, things are moving in the right place, but you're stuck in your social and your dating life, why not spend a fraction of the time and a fraction of that money that you spent preparing for the professional stuff so you can actually enjoy your life? Because no matter how much you master your profession, if you can't slow down, build relationships with people you want to be around, have those people in your life who care about you, who care about your progress, then you're not going to enjoy your life. And what's the point of living a life that you don't enjoy? So this is why, you know, if any questions about this, just reach out. Happy to point you in the right direction, whether that's working with us or working with someone else. Thank you so much, Lloyd. Appreciate you coming on. This was an awesome interview. Anything else to say?
I'm just grateful, Ige. Thank you for having me.
For sure. Grateful to have you on the program and on this interview. Thanks for watching, guys. If you saw this live, comment below live. If you're seeing the replay, comment replay. Any questions, just send me a message on Facebook. Ege Reynolds, search it on Facebook. If you not have me added as a friend, send me a message there, and we're more than happy to chat. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye.